Jungkook suddenly left the house in the middle of the night without a trace, and Jimin did something that shook the entire ARMY fandom. What the hell is going on? Was their project really cancelled due to internal conflicts? Who actually took this decision? And why is it all like blaming each other? Jungkook's out in the middle of the night. Jimin's doing this. ARMY's in uproar. Jungkook disappeared in the middle of the night. What Jimin did next shocked everyone. Did you hear it too? The rushing pace in the hallway of a quiet luxury apartment, 13:02 in the morning, with only the sound of bated breath felt so heavy. The CCTV cameras didn't lie, and ARMY was observant enough to realize that it was Jungkook, with no manager, no staff, no schedule, coming out of his quarters with just a black jacket and a hat covering almost his entire face. But why in the middle of the night? What the hell is going on? The question was in the air faster than light. More than 1 million tweets have gone viral in just over an hour since the news of her disappearance broke. And more surprisingly, it wasn't Jungkook's departure that made everyone lose their way, but what Jimin did afterwards. Jimin did not write a consolation tweet. It doesn't tell the story as usual. All he did was make the world silent. He came to the HYB building, alone, with a blank face, without a word. What really happened between them? Why does it seem like it all started with HYB's brief announcement of Jimin's solo project being abruptly cancelled, and more surprisingly, the reason behind it? The decision was related to Jungkook's project? Is it possible Jimin feel betrayed? Did Jungkook know the impact would be so severe? The chronology is too fast, but their every move feels like an explosion. An hour after HYB announced the cancellation of Jimin's project, which was originally scheduled to be a continuation of Face and other global collaborations, the media began reporting that the project was postponed due to adjustments to the internal agenda of another artist directly related to it. The name was not mentioned, but one thing became clear as the evening approached. Only Jungkook has a big schedule in the next 2 months. Does this mean Jungkook is to blame? So, how did Jimin react when he found out about it? Jimin's eyes could not hide the wound when caught on camera that morning in the lobby of HYB. None of the staff welcomed him. He stood alone for almost 10 minutes, as if waiting for someone who never came, before finally leaving a restrained gaze behind the glass of the elevator. And just a few hours later, CCTV cameras showed the moment Jungkook walked quickly out of his apartment complex, without a known purpose. Not sure when to return. How can two people who were once very close, who often shared stories and laughed in front of the camera, now seem to be on opposite sides of an abyss cracked by corporate decisions, and more importantly, who ignited this fire? Much speculation spread, with some claiming that Jungkook was pressured by the production team's expectations that demanded his total focus on his latest solo project. Unofficial sources say HYB rearranged Jimin's schedule to give full priority to Jungkook's global promotional campaign. Why did Jim have to give up? Can't they be side by side? Didn't they support each other from the very beginning, even outside the camera's spotlight? The heartache was evident when Jimin posted an old photo of the two of them, hugging each other after the concert, and captioned it with tears in his eyes. Why do you have to be hurt by a decision you didn't make yourself? It's not just sadness. It was a sense of loss. And when the next night passed without news, the Weverse account remained silent, and none of the new uploads appeared from either of them. ARMY could only guess. Are Jungkook and Jimin in serious conflict? Did they finally talk? Or did they really choose silence because the wound was too deep to explain? What was even more shocking was when a HYB staffer who chose not to be named divulged that the decision to cancel Jimin's project was actually not entirely because of Jungkook, but rather because there was a mismatch between the narrative that the company wanted to build and Jimin's original idea. Does this mean that Jimin wants to convey something through his music that is not approved by the management? And if so, does Jungkook know? Was he trying to help, or was he not told because HYB didn't want to split him up in the middle of a promotion? This situation is like a time bomb that has not exploded or has exploded secretly in each other's hearts. The fact that Jungkook went out in the middle of the night without an escort was a signal that could not be ignored. It's not just about regular walks. It's about someone carrying too much weight in silence. And Jimin, who came to HYB that morning, was not just to ask, but maybe to fight for something. Perhaps to convey one last sentence that has been stuck for so long. Do you really not know, or do you choose to remain silent? A quote widely speculated to be the content of Jimin's message to Jungkook that has never been confirmed, but quickly spread among the fandom. The big question now haunts all sides. Will the two remain silent? Will they show up together? Or is this the beginning of an emotional breakup we never expected, and the most heartbreaking? Have we lost Jungkook as we used to know it? Jungkook finally returned to his dorm more than 18 hours after his departure. He looked tired, looked down, and did not greet the paparazzi as usual. Jimin had not been seen in public until this article was written. One thing is certain. It's not just about canceled projects. It's about relationships, trust, and a sense of belonging that everyone now questions. Will they be able to get through this together? Or rather, this is the beginning of a distance that will no longer be bridged. HYB has not yet given any further clarification, and the silence from Jimin and Jungkook makes it all feel more piercing. But the army did not stand still. They lit up hashtags, collected messages of support, and even sent an LED truck to HYB's office that read, "We believe in Jimin and Jungkook. Don't destroy them." But is trust enough? Or is all this too late? And if you've also been feeling something strange since the announcement, you're probably right. Probably there is something to hide, something that we are not allowed to know. Something that made Jimin choose silence and Jungkook choose to leave. The question now is, who will speak first and what will they say? Imagine that night, when all of Seoul falls asleep and the security cameras in the HYB building show only one figure standing alone in the lobby. Park Jimin. His face did not display excessive emotion, but if enlarged, his eyes appeared red. The observant army realized it was not a light effect. It was a restrained tear. And more painfully, not a single member of the management came down to greet him. No Jungkook. There is no official statement. Just silence. Does this mean it is no longer considered? Has the decision to cancel his project removed him from the company's priorities? More than that, did Jimin know his project would be canceled before the public announcement? Or did he just get the information at the same time as the other army? If that's true, it's not only unprofessional, but painful. Because it's not just about the music, but about the self-esteem of an artist who has stood at the forefront of HYB for many years. What about Jungkook? He was indeed silent. But Jungkook's silence was not without sound. It shows signs of tension. One fan even posted an old video in which Jungkook said, "If I had to choose between a dream and someone I consider family, I don't know what I would do." And that sentence now sounds like a painful warning. Is his solo dream now the reason behind the broken trust of the person he considers like his own brother? Did Jimin feel betrayed? Sources in fandom said that shortly after the announcement of the cancellation of Jimin's project, Jungkook locked himself in his rehearsal room, not receiving calls. He didn't talk to anyone, not even his manager. A leaked recording clip from the internal system shows the sound of a loud bass bang from Jungkook's studio, nonstop for more than 2 hours. It was as if he was trying to fight the voice of his own mind. And that night, he left. Did he leave because of anger, because of guilt, or because you want to talk to Jimin directly and don't know how? Someone saw him near the Han River. Sit alone, holding his phone. Staring at the screen is like waiting for a message that never comes. On the other side of town, Jimin is in a dorm, also in silence. These two figures were so close, but now it's like their worlds don't touch each other anymore. The army's reaction was divided. Some blame HYB. Some are beginning to doubt the narrative of brotherhood, which has been sold to the public. But most of them only want one thing: honesty. They don't care how bitter the reality is, as long as it comes straight from Jimin and Jungkook. Is it possible that the truth will be revealed? Or will HYB go back to hiding it behind sweet words? While carrying out their agenda, conspiracies began to appear. Some fans claim to have found clues in Jungkook's last post before all this happened. She posted a black and white photo with a caption, "Sometimes silence speaks louder than promises." Not long after, Jimin posted a video of a dance rehearsal peppered with one strange phrase, "I dance, not because it's fun, but because it's the only thing I forget." Is this a veiled message? Are the two of them communicating secretly through social media because they can't speak directly? Suddenly, the public remembered the moment when Jimin. A few hours after Jungkook returned to the dorm, the mood in the fandom changed drastically. Fans began to dig into all the possible reasons, reread each of their interactions, looking for clues that might have been missed so far, as if they wanted to reassemble an already destroyed puzzle. But more surprisingly, it wasn't just the fans who were looking for answers, but the old BTS staff who were once known to be close to the two began to make gestures. One of BTS's former choreographers, who used to accompany Jimin and Jungkook's rehearsals since the Wings era, wrote a cryptic message on his personal account. They used to always compete, but never forgot to hug each other at the end of the day. Now, is there still that hug? That sentence made a lot of people choke. Has the relationship gone that far now? Until hugs become memories, and when everyone suspected that there would be no updates, something happened. In the morning, one of the fan sites who used to capture the moment Jimin posted a photo. Not from the airport, not from the concert, but from the underground parking lot of the HYB building. The figure stands in a black hoodie and mask, but the body shape and style of the stand are typical. That's Jimin, it's coming again. No announcement. Without control, the question is, why did he come back? Does he want to meet someone? Demanding an explanation? Or rather, want to end it all? Hours later, an unnamed staffer told local media that there was a very emotional personal meeting between two very close HYBE artists. No names were mentioned, but the army knew exactly who was in question. And after the meeting, someone is crying. One of the security personnel leaked that the sound of crying was heard from inside the fourth-floor studio for almost 45 minutes. No one dared to enter. Nobody's recording. But the sound, according to them, was the same one they had heard when BTS rehearsed intensively for the Love Yourself tour. Jungkook's voice. From time to time, Jimin's voice interrupted. But not the sound they usually hear. It's a broken voice, and after the meeting, the two artists came out of different doors. Without talking. Without glancing at each other. But one thing stole the show. Jimin was carrying something he hadn't brought before. A small black notebook that looked shabby. Fans speculated it was Jungkook's journaling diary, which he often writes when he wants to pour out his heart. If it really is Jungkook's, then Jimin brought it for one reason, to read or to remember. Does that mean Jungkook gave his explanation in writing? Was he unable to say it directly because it was too painful? And if Jimin had already read it, why did he remain silent? Is it because he is not ready to forgive? Or is it because the contents of the note actually reveal something much darker than we imagined? As the afternoon approached, fans gathered around the HYB building saw one unexpected moment. A black car stopped in front of the gate. The rear window is lowered only slightly, and from behind that glass, someone was seen raising a hand, coding a heart-shaped finger gesture. It's not clear who, but some say it was Jungkook's hand. He didn't speak, but the gesture felt like a message. We're not done yet. Does that mean reconciliation is still possible? Or is it just an empty hope? In the evening, Twitter exploded again. This time not because of speculation, but because of one update from Weverse. A sudden upload appeared from Jimin's account. He didn't write long. Just one sentence. But that sentence broke millions of hearts. If I can't sing honestly, then I'd better not sing first. The sentence implies denial, not just against HYB's decision, but perhaps also against the system that forced her to choose. Does he feel betrayed not only by the company, but also by Jungkook, who is considered silent while he is being championed? A few minutes later, Jungkook's account also uploaded something. But unlike Jimin, he posted a short 23-second audio. There is no sound of music, only the sound of heavy breathing, and at the end a whisper. I never want to see you hurt because of